Hi and welcome back again. In this video, we'll be looking at possessive adjectives, how to say mine and yours without using personal pronouns. One way to express ownership in Greek is, as we've seen, with the genitive personal pronouns. So to say my slave, I can say hadoulos mu. Or if I want to say my slave woman or my little girl, I can say he su paidiske. There I'm using mu and su, the genitive forms of ego and su, in order to say that the slave or the little girl is mine. But Greek also has dedicated possessive adjectives for the first and second person. So Greek has adjectives for saying my, your, singular, our, and your, plural. Emos, M-A-M-on, is how we say my as an adjective. Sos, say son, is the adjective meaning your. Hemeteros, hemetere, hemeteron is our. And humeteros, humetere, humeteron is your. Notice that there isn't any third person possessive adjective. So we can only use an adjective to say my or your in the singular or plural, not his, her, or its, or their. The case forms of emos, and really of all of these possessive adjectives, are completely regular. So we've already seen this kind of chart for second and first declension nouns, and all of these endings should be totally familiar to you. So all you have to remember that's new is the M stem, which is the stem for emos, meaning my. Similarly, sos is completely regular, and this stem is just a sigma. And so we get in the nominative sos, se, and son. Hemeteros, the stem is just hemeter, and then onto that we add all of the endings. And the same is true with humeteros. Now, there are two tricks with these possessive adjectives. One is when we look at agreement. On the one hand, we have to distinguish between the number of the stem and the number of the ending. In other words, the stem number has to do with whether I'm using emos or hemeteros, my or our. Who is it doing the possessing, and is that group singular or plural? If it's singular, I'll use emos or sos if it's you. If the group doing the possessing is plural, then I'll use humeteros if it's you, or hemeteros if it's us, we. That number of the person who's doing the possessing is distinct from the number of the ending, because the number of the adjective ending agrees with the thing being possessed. So if I, as an individual, have a number plural of slaves, I'll say hoi emoi douloi. Now, emoi is singular in the sense that it's saying my, and the person doing the possessing is singular, but the ending is plural, oi, because the thing being possessed is plural, douloi. Similarly, he humetere paidiske. Here we have humetere, which shows us that there are more than one person doing the possessing. It's you, plural, possess. But the thing being possessed is singular, and so we have the singular ending, just the eta, a. The other thing we need to be careful of here is case. In talking about possession when we're using personal pronouns, we put the personal pronoun in the genitive case, and it's that genitive case that conveys the idea of possession, among other things, as we've seen. But when we're using an adjective, a possessive adjective, then the adjective simply agrees in case with the thing that's being modified. So in hoi emoi douloi, emoi is the possessive adjective, and it is nominative plural because it's agreeing with hoi douloi, which is nominative plural. But it still has the possessive idea, not now because it's in the genitive case, but because the adjective itself conveys the possessive idea. He humetere paidiske, similarly. Humetere is feminine singular nominative because he paidiske is feminine nominative singular. In ton sona del phone, son is genitive plural, but it's not genitive plural in order to make it possessive. It's genitive plural in order to agree with adelphone. If adelphone was instead adelphoi, brothers, in the nominative, then son would become soi as well in order to agree with it. So remember, when we're dealing with personal pronouns as a way of expressing possession, then we need to put the pronoun in the genitive. But when we're dealing with possessive adjectives to convey possession, we let the case of the adjective follow the case of the nominal that the adjective is modifying, the thing being possessed. The other trick here is just to remember that since these possessive adjectives are real adjectives, then all of the things we saw before about attributive versus predicate position apply to these as well. So if I want to say my slaves, I can either say hoi emoi douloi, or I can say hoi douloi hoi hemeteroi, if I want to say our slaves, or hoi douloi hoi emoi. The point here is that if you remember, the two attributive positions for adjectives are between the article and the nominal, or following the nominal with another article repeated in front of the adjective. Similarly, we can say he paidiske he se, which again just means your slave girl or your little girl. Or we can say, instead of ton emon adelphone, ton adelphone, ton emon. And that means the same thing.